Hey, City Youth, welcome to the City Youth live stream. I'm here with Emily. We're not social distancing because she's my wife, just so you guys know before we start getting a bunch of dislikes or something like that. Anyway, great to be with you guys tonight. We are coming to you live from the home of the City Youth, the Underground. And we just want to let you guys know that we love being a part of the city, because at the city, we are a community that wants to be all about welcoming others, laughing together, and seeking and shining God's love together. So we're super stoked about that. A couple of things we want to let you know about. Tonight, we are doing an Ask Me Anything with Josh Kazikoff. He is the youth pastor from Central Baptist Church in Victoria. You might remember him from Liftoff. He's an awesome dude. We're glad to have him with us. We're also going to be playing some games tonight. We are playing Google Trends. Google Trends.
Oh, yeah.
Which means I went on Google Trends and I looked up all the things that people search, because that's the kind of thing you do when you're youth pastoring. You have lots of time on your hands. And we're going to be asking, like, what was the most common coffee chain looked up in Canada between Tim Hortons and Starbucks, because those are the only two that count. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. The Buzz is in there, too. So you have a chance to be a part of that. Just go check out the description of the YouTube video. You'll find a link right at the top into our Zoom live stream, and you can join us. You can be a part of that, and Josh is going to be playing that with us. So definitely jump in and be a part of that. And you could have a chance to win a $5 Tim's card. And if you're there and you're thinking, I won a Tim's card, like why am I not getting it yet? Well, guess what? I went and I bought a bunch of Tim's cards. And I also bought myself my own Tim's. A little. It's good. So we'll be sending these to you tonight. If you won in the past, we'll be texting these out to you. Whoops, sorry. All right, what else do we have? We're going to do some music, and we're going through a message tonight. And it's our third message in our series, The Sower. Checking out that parable about a farmer that Jesus taught, and looking at what we can learn about how we listen and the kind of relationship we have with Jesus from that. As well, if you are watching on Instagram Live, you might notice that it kind of looks like a little grainy and stuff. Yeah, that's because the party's on YouTube, man. Come on over to YouTube. Follow the link in the description. Come on over, find us there, and join us in the comments. And just right now, who do we have in comments here? We see Owen. Good to see you. Josh is in there. April, Rachel. Good to see you guys. And yeah, help us continue to grow. Help us reach more people with God's love and just with the work that God's doing in our world, and through this community. So, like, subscribe, share, invite your friends. It's going to be a good time. All right. What else do we have? All right. We're going to bring in Josh. You guys ready to see Josh? You ready to see Josh?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to bring him in. All right. He's just joining in. Hey, Josh, how's it going, buddy?
This is weird.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey,
Awesome,
Josh.
dude. Good to see you, man. How's things going?
It's been good. We're about to do our own live worship night here in about half an hour, so we're getting pretty pumped to do that.
That's awesome, man.
For your youth group?
Is that for your youth group?
Yeah, it's going to be Central Youth Live, so feel free to tune in.
Yeah, because that's after hours, right? Oh, no, that's during my message. Man, you...
Is it during your message? Okay, don't turn in. Don't tune in. Don't tune in. Nope.
Hey, if you guys tuned into Josh, that's good, too. He's
It's going to be a good time. It's our first one.
Yeah. So you're the youth pastor over at Central. There's another part of your title, too, though, right?
I know. We're a church that likes extra long titles.
Yeah.
So I am the pastor of youth and community groups.
The pastor of youth and community groups.
Yeah.
Right on. So a couple of questions that we have right off the top. What's your favorite movie series?
Ooh, movie series. Does the Avengers count?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, hands down. That's it. That's
The
it.
Avengers?
I love them all. Yep.
Nice. I like it. Do you have a favorite Avengers movie?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, the first one's a classic for sure. I mean,
What was that
Endgame.
one called?
It's just called The Avengers.
Oh, okay.
It was just The Avengers, the first one. I mean, Endgame was amazing, but one that I watched over and over again was probably Infinity War.
Yeah. Infinity War.
Yeah.
Honestly, I loved Infinity War. Endgame, I don't know why it felt like it let me down.
I don't know if I'd say let me down. I mean, like it tied it all up. It was nice. But yeah, there's just something about Infinity War. But I mean, come on, man. Captain America, when you picked up the hammer.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Super cool. My thing was that I was like, I felt like when they started fighting Thanos from in the past, like he was still a bad dude, but they didn't have that same rapport with him. I almost felt like we're not fighting the same guy. Anyway,
I know.
that was my feelings. I'm glad that they got it all worked out.
Oh, dude, there's a whole article on it. We could talk for ages.
Nice. All right. We'll have a separate live stream where we'll just talk about Avengers.
That's it. We'll talk about all the conspiracy theories.
Hey, you guys in the chat, let us know what your favorite movie series is. We'd love to hear from you guys too. And then one more before we get to our game. Also, guys, if you're in the chat, if you're watching this, jump in that first Zoom link in the top of the description there. We'd love to have you guys come in as we play Google Trends, and you will have a chance to win a $5.
Yep, come on in.
Josh and Emily might beat you in their guesses. But
Do I get the
they
$5?
also can't win Zoom cards. Tim's cards. So definitely jump in.
But we can win bragging rights.
Yeah, you can win bragging.
Oh, there we go.
All right. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, easy question. Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice?
Yep.
For the
Chicken
rest of
and
your
rice. When I was a young bachelor living by myself here in Victoria, that's what I ate every day. Almost breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not quite, but that was it.
It's pretty healthy.
Chicken and rice?
I don't know.
Those are yummy.
Chicken and rice. Right? It never got old. I don't know why, but it never got old.
I'm such a foodie,
Any sauce?
so it's hard to choose.
Sometimes barbecue sauce, but you just put a little like Montreal steak spice on there. It's real good. Yeah.
It's so hard for me to choose because I love all food, and whenever I'm eating a food, I'm like, this is my favorite food. So it's like so hard to choose.
With every new food, this is my favorite food.
But I love
Yes.
poke bowls. And it's just like basically rice and then like little piles of different kinds of veggies, like there'll be like a little pile of mango and like a little pile of green onion, a little pile of avocado, and then there's usually like a little pile of like raw salmon and like a little pile of edamame beans. So it's like a bunch of different like nice foods on top
That'd be
of
good.
fluffy rice.
Here's the crazy thing. Emily just casually makes amazing food at home all the time. She's just like, oh, I'm just going to whip something up. You're like, I feel like I should have paid $40 for this plate.
Wives are good at that, man.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Thanks,
And
Peter.
she feeds me. All right. So rice and chicken. If that was the one thing you could eat. All right, so guys, we're gonna move into our Google Trends game, and we've got Fortnite in here. I think that's short for Fortnite, or a variation of the spelling. Maybe it's like,
What's a Fortnite?
Who is it?
I don't know. It's gonna be a surprise.
Here we go.
And I'm gonna bring up our
Mystery person.
mystery person. Who we got? Hey, how's it going?
Owen!
Owen!
Yay!
Hey,
How's it going, dude?
Hello.
Fortnite.
Hey, so just mute your live stream. Otherwise, we're gonna have an endless loop. And yeah, anyone else in the chat you want to jump in? Feel free to jump on in. And yeah, let us know. Hey, Isaac, I see you in the chat. If you could have only one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? Let us know. Okay, guys, you ready for some Google Trend questions?
Yes.
Bring it.
All right. So Emily, you can't look at my computer.
I can't see it anyways. Your body's blocking it.
Okay, perfect. I'm hiding it because otherwise Emily will just be able to have a huge advantage as she can see the answers. Okay, so which of these fast food chains this next section of questions, these are all Nanaimo-based questions,
Okay.
and they are searches over the last 7
Oh.
days.
Okay.
Okay, so which of these fast food chains was Googled the most? Tim Hortons, A&W, McDonald's, or KFC?
Ooh.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say McDonald's.
I'm gonna go KFC.
Tim Hortons.
Oh,
All right. Owen Silver's jumping in here too. We're gonna bring in
Madeline.
Owen.
Maddie Cole says A&W. Rachel says Tim's.
Rachel says Tim's. All right. So, just sorry, refresh me again. Emily, you said.
McDonald's.
Owen, you said.
Tim Hortons.
And Josh, you said.
KFC.
The correct answer is McDonald's.
I just knew it. Somehow in my soul, I just knew.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, but sometimes you just gotta have that KFC.
All right, we're gonna give Emily a point. Okay, that was a warm up. We also have Owen Silver coming in. I'm trying to bring him into this group here.
Oh, yay, Owen. I have two
He's
Owens.
coming in. So from now on, I'm gonna call you Owen. What's your nickname for this game?
Which Owen?
You Owen.
Owen Swanson.
I'm gonna call you Swan. O Swan and O Silv.
That works.
How's it going, Owen? Owen Silv. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right, let us know when you get the sound working.
Hey, Owen.
So next one, which of these fast food chains was Googled the least in Nanaimo over the last 7 days? Tim Hortons, A&W, McDonald's, or KFC?
KFC.
Can I guess the same as Owen?
Yeah, you can guess the same.
I think KFC as well.
Fine.
What do you think, Owen Silver?
Man,
Josh, you got a guess?
that's a tough one. I mean, my gut wants to say KFC, but
But what's
kind of
your
want to say
heart
A&W.
Sorry, what was
I
that?
want to say A&Dubs.
You're gonna say
A&Dubs.
All right, we got answers locked in. The correct answer, Googled the least over the last 7 days, was A&W.
Really?
Yeah. I know. I was disappointed.
Lock it in.
I was like, they got really great fries. Everyone brags about
That's
McDonald's,
so
but
weird.
yeah, no. A&W's is where it's at, yo.
But I mean, maybe because people trust them, so they just know.
They don't Google them because, like, those commercials tell you all you need to know.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right, so Josh, you got a point for that one.
Nice.
All right. Which of these sports did people Google the most in Nanaimo over the last 7 days? Hockey, golf, basketball, or soccer?
Hockey.
Basketball.
Emily says hockey. Josh says basketball.
KFC.
KFC. Was that you, Silver?
That was Owen Swanstrom.
Owen Swan.
I said hockey.
Hockey. We have the same brain.
All right, so the sport that was Googled the most in Nanaimo over the last 7 days was golf.
Ah,
Hello.
who are these people?
Who's
Why
golfing
golf?
right now? People.
Who is golf?
But it's like the only thing open. That's why people are Googling it.
Yes, you're right.
I guess so,
Oh.
yeah.
It's only logic.
Dang.
Because you can kind of social distance and play golf, right? Like, it's
Totally.
not hard to do.
Yeah, you're like really far away. You're like 400 yards sometimes. Except for
Depending on how
Well,
good a golfer you
Rachel
are.
said soccer, and Isaac said basketball.
All right, next question here. Okay, which of these terms was Googled more than Nanaimo Bar in Nanaimo over the last 7 days? So, of these 4 terms, Nanaimo Bar was Googled more than 3 of them. Okay? So we have isolation, Lysol, toilet paper, or gloves. Which one of these was Googled more? Was Googled
The Lysol. I'm
than
going with
Nanaimo Bar?
Lysol.
Oh, when you say Lysol?
Yep.
I said isolation.
I'm gonna go curveball, say gloves.
Gloves, isolation. I'm gonna say toilet paper, even though I know the answer. All right, the correct answer is gloves. Gloves were Googled.
Nice.
Okay, this blew me away.
What?
Gloves were the only thing on that list Googled more times than Nanaimo bars.
April agreed with me. She said isolation.
What do we got?
All right. In percentage, How many more searches were for gloves over Nanaimo bars?
How many over?
Yeah, so by percentage, how many more searches were for gloves than Nanaimo bars? So like, there was a percentage that of searches that were for gloves, and there were a percentage of searches that were for Nanaimo bars. And gloves was more, but like by how much? How close was it basically is the question. So was it 10 to 20%, 20 to 30%, 30 to 40%, or 40 to 50%?
30 to 40.
Owen
I say
says
10 to 20.
10 to 20.
I say up to 50%.
All right, the correct answer is 10 to 20%.
Nice.
Josh, man, you are rolling with this, bro. You are rolling.
I know.
All right.
What can I say?
We got a couple of questions here about Victoria now. The next 5 are Victoria. They're the same questions, but they are.
Ooh, I know nothing of Victoria,
All right. Well,
to be fair.
we'll see what we can do here. All right. Which of these food chains was Googled the most in Victoria? Tim Hortons, A&W, McDonald's, or KFC?
KFC.
I say Tim Hortons.
I also say Tim Hortons.
So Tim Hortons, and KFC.
Yeah.
The correct answer, my friend, was McDonald's.
I should have stuck with
Ooh.
McDonald's.
All right. No points on that one.
Sad.
Which of these fast food chains was Googled the least? Again, Tim Hortons, A&W, McDonald's, or KFC?
Oh, man. I'm going to say KFC.
You say Josh says KFC. Emily, what do you think?
I'm not sure.
We've only got like one KFC.
Yeah, it's true.
What do you think, Owen?
Yeah, maybe
McDonald's.
I'm gonna go KFC. Jada says KFC.
McDonald's. What do we got? Corbin says. Jada says KFC.
Hey, Jada. I also think KFC.
All right. So the one that was Googled the least in Victoria was A&W. Again!
What?
Again!
Wow.
Man. Okay, guys. Which of the... What did you guys say? Okay, in the comments for this one, guys. Which of these sports did people Google the least in Victoria? Hockey, golf, basketball, or soccer?
Soccer.
Soccer.
Soccer?
Jinx.
Soccer?
Hockey.
Yeah. Owen, Emily called Jinx. You can't talk anymore and you order a Coke.
Oh,
Just kidding.
I don't like Coke. Can I get a?
We're getting
ginger?
soccer, basketball, soccer. April says b-ball.
B-ball.
B-ball. What did you say, Emily? Are you gonna say something?
I said soccer.
You said soccer as well. The correct answer is soccer.
Yes.
All right. Who else said it?
Ooh.
Emily, did you say soccer?
Yes, and
And-
so I think Owen did too.
Owen, did you say soccer as well?
At the same time.
All right. Owen and Emily getting points. All right, so we got 2 more questions, okay? Josh has 2, Owen has 1, and Emily has 2. Are you guys ready for this final question?
Oh, Corbin
Or
wants.
sorry,
Bring
two,
it.
2 final questions.
Corbin says he wants to join.
Oh, we just got 2 more questions, Corbin. Next time you can jump in with us, okay, bro? Okay. Which of these was... Oh, wait. All right, yeah, so here we go. Which of these terms in Victoria over the last 7 days was Googled more times than Nanaimo bar? Was it isolation, Lysol, toilet paper, gloves, or all of the above because Victoria hates Nanaimo bars? What do you guys
Plot
think?
twist.
To be fair, we do have a Nanaimo bar beer. Just saying.
Oh, I did not know that.
But like
believe it's
we're
Frank
talking
Brown.
like classic Nanaimo bar dessert.
I know.
Like the little block thing.
Yeah, the little block thing with the coconut in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say toilet paper.
You gonna say toilet paper? Emily?
Lysol. I'm sticking with Lysol.
All of the above.
Commitment.
All of the above. And what did you say, Owen?
Lysol.
Lysol. The correct answer is all of the above.
What?
Apparently, Victoria has a priority straight in a pandemic. They are
True.
looking at how to wash their hands because they hate an island bars. Actually, that's why.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. Actually, I think what happened is people were.
I always felt I belonged in Nanaimo
and
anyway.
Josh like talked bad about it and got everyone off of it. Okay. So then, last question: which of these terms was searched for the most in Victoria over the last 7 days? Was it isolation, Lysol, toilet paper, or gloves?
Lysol.
Toilet paper.
Lysol.
Lysol, toilet paper. Or the correct answer was gloves. Again, gloves.
Was it really?
Yeah.
It's very fun,
Wow.
right?
So wait, nobody got that in the last one. No one got the last question either, right?
Nope.
Or this one? Okay, so do you guys want to do one more?
Wait, was this the answer Lysol for the
Sorry,
last one?
The answer was gloves.
It's gloves.
Okay.
All right, actually, we'll do two more because this one, these two kind of stack on each other, okay? All right, so over the last 7 days worldwide, who has been Googled more, Victoria or Nanaimo?
Victoria.
The answer may surprise you, or it may not.
Nanaimo.
It may or may not.
I kind of want to say Nanaimo.
Nanaimo? Emily?
I said Victoria.
The correct answer is Victoria.
Hmm.
It's our province.
Not surprised.
capital, right? It's our province.
I guess
capital,
so.
Okay, so now here's the one that stacks on that. So Emily's getting another point. She's currently tied with Josh with 3.
We're so smart.
The last question
Yeah.
for the evening. Worldwide, over the last 7 days, outside of Canada, where was Victoria Googled the most? Was it in the UK, the United States, Australia, or Japan? The UK, the United States, Australia, or Japan?
Japan.
United States.
Maddie said, I Googled Victoria 80 times a day, so I probably swayed the stats.
Yeah, I
a
just
bit."
read that on there.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna go with UK.
So Corbin's saying UK in the chat. April is saying the UK. Sorry, so what did you guys say? Emily, what did you say?
I said United States.
United States. Owen?
UK.
UK.
Japan.
Japan. The correct answer, my friends, is Australia, mate.
Ah, man.
I was kind of surprised.
Huh,
I was kind of
that's
surprised.
interesting.
Isn't there Victoria in Australia?
Maybe. I feel like there are towns there that sound like they would be in Victoria. Or sorry, in Canada. So. All right, that is our Google Trends for tonight. What we're gonna do now,
was
we're
good.
gonna be asking Josh a few more questions. So Owen, feel free to stick around in the chat with us. If you come up with a question, feel free to throw it out there. If you're in the chats and you want to ask a question, feel free to throw it down in the chat and we will ask Josh. But we got a couple of questions for you. Josh,
Hit me.
is
Scared.
you're scared?
Scared.
These are
What do you
skill
got?
testing. These are skill testing and vulnerability building questions here.
I knew it.
Trust building. Man. We're gonna come out of this better friends than we ever wanted to be. Okay, first question. Favorite way to spend your vacation?
Ooh, great question. I love staying in BC. I think we have a beautiful province, and so we usually go visit some of my family who are out in the interior, and it's usually just boating, camping, fishing.
Lovely.
That sounds great, man.
Yeah, that's all I need in my life.
Very relaxing.
Boating, camping, and fishing. Those
Yep.
three also fit like really well together.
Right?
Yeah. You go catch your food, come back to the camp, you cook your food. You
That's
gotta go
exactly
boating
it.
with the fish. Unless you're doing that net thing where you throw it from shore. Do you do it that way?
You don't have to
No.
throw it from shore. So.
No,
No.
no.
Oh,
I just got a new fly fishing rod, so I just gotta.
Peter and I went fishing one time and we caught nothing. But it was very fun.
Then we found out we were doing it illegally.
No,
It's
we
relaxing.
didn't. We had
Relaxing.
license. Oh yeah, we did. we had license. We were just fishing the wrong spot, but we didn't realize.
Yes, got to be careful. Those regs.
Yeah.
All right. So feel free to throw this in the comments, guys. This next one. What is your most embarrassing childhood memory?
Oh. I locked this
My-
away.
Oh man, you know,
For
we
those
were
of you
talking
who were
about
in your childhood. What is your most embarrassing current memory? I guess.
we were talking about this in our community group, and I don't know if it's just me, but I don't get easily embarrassed. And so I was like trying to think of something, and I mean, I almost pooped my pants once. That's probably the most embarrassing.
What happened? What caused that?
I don't really know. Do you ever just like you're sitting there and everything's going really well, life's good, and then all of a sudden you get this feeling, you're like, here it comes.
You just get that feeling that
God.
You just get that
That's
feeling,
terrifying.
and then you're like, you know what? If a bathroom's close by, I'm fine. And then you figure out there's not one, and you're like, I have to go right now.
Goodness.
Yeah, and you're like, now I'm in trouble.
You might be
Yeah.
lactose or something.
Could be. I never know. But thankfully, it didn't happen. All is good.
Yep, all is well. You made it through. You
Yeah.
Oh
survived.
gosh.
Exactly.
Nice. All right, so during childhood, that's when there's a lot of dreams and imagining happening and where we want to be, where we want to go in life. So for you grew up and became a youth pastor. And some people say that's what people do when they still don't know what they want to do. Not true. I don't know if it's true. for
Definitely
you,
not
Josh,
true.
But I love being a youth pastor and working with the youth. It's great. But for you, like, how did you end up being a youth pastor? When did you decide that was something you wanted to do?
Ooh, great question. I don't know if it's something I decided technically. I think God decided for me in a sense. Yeah, I grew up in a non-Christian home. And from like day one, I always wanted to be a lawyer. That was like my plan. I knew exactly how to do it, how to get there. Fast forward like 20 years, I come to know Jesus. I was graduating from UVic with my undergrad and heading to law school like a few months after. But during that time, I just had some really good people in my life who were mentoring me. One of them just pulled me aside and was like, you know what? I believe you have some gifts that God's given you and some skills. Have you ever considered ministry as a full-time job? And I was like, nope, never thought about it before in my life. Law school is where I need to be. Yeah, it was just one of those like moments. Peter, as you know, you're in the Immerse program, and this program was brand new right when we were talking about this. And so I'd always like told God that my life was his. I'm going to go where he wants me to go. I'm going to do what he wants me to do. But in this moment, it became very real because it was like, okay, you've had your plans. You put them in place throughout your 23 years. But you tell me that your life is mine. Is that really true? And I said, okay, God, you've done this. You've led me to this point. I believe you are giving me a choice, but I want to surrender my life and I want to give it to you. And if that means serving you full time in vocational ministry, then let's do it. So that was pastoral ministry for one, but like youth ministry, I'm 29. I've been in youth ministry for 8 years and I love it. Like, you probably get this a lot, Peter, but people usually say like, oh, youth pastor, isn't that like not really a pastor or you're not a lead pastor yet? I almost want to be a youth pastor my whole life because like, how often do you get to pour into such a big, diverse group of people? Like, if you can empower teenagers, you can't stop them. Like, if they're united around a cause, around a purpose, they can do anything. And so I just love that about them.
Yeah, so good, man.
That's why I'm youth ministry.
And that's why we love hanging out with all you guys all the time. That's why we do live streams in youth group, because we just love hanging out with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was honestly so great at Liftoff this past February when we were all able to get all of our groups together and just see everyone and see all the energy that everyone brought and the passion for life. It was great. It was so
Yeah.
good.
I mean, how many other pastors get to do that stuff?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's like when you're like a lead pastor, you got to be like responsible all the time. Like You know, adults look up to you, but or maybe they don't. I don't know. But when you're a youth pastor, you know, you can afford to have some fun. You know, you could stream a video game. Looking at you, Mr. Karadimus from Victoria. Good idea.
That's right.
And just connect with people, and you know, it's your job, so it's good. All right, Josh, thanks so much for hanging out with us, man.
This has been so much fun. Thanks for having me.
It's been great having you. We look forward to hanging out again sometime, and maybe next February at Liftoff, maybe before then. But
yes,
it's been great, dude. It's been so good hanging out with you.
Have a good worship night.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
You're gonna go play some drums?
Gonna go play some drums. It's gonna be a blast.
Sweet. Very cool.
Here we go. 3-minute countdown's on. Here we go.
The 3-minute countdown to playing.
Yep.
You're just gonna run down there.
I'm gonna book it.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome, dude.
Okay.
Okay. Good talking with you, man. We'll chat to you soon.
Bye.
See you guys. Thanks for the fun.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. Thanks for swinging by.
Goodbye.
See you, Owen.
Bye.
All right, awesome. Well, it was so great having Josh hanging out with us tonight. It was so great having all you guys hanging out with us in the chat. Now, we are going to be moving into some music. We're going to hear a message, and then we're going to have small group after. And so the links are going to be in the description of the live stream here, and your leaders will be letting you in when you hit the waiting room there. So make sure you put your first and last name so that they recognize you and they can let you in. And they look forward to hanging out with you guys. So now we are going to be checking out a video with a message from your small group leader. So enjoy.
Some would say it's foolish.
My name is Emily, and I'm the grade 6 to 8 small group leader.
My name is Matthew, and I'm the grade 9 to 12 guys small group leader.
I'm Shauna, and I'm the grade 8 to 10 girls small group leader.
Hey, I'm Daniel, and I'm the 6-8 boys small group leader.
I'm Maddie. I'm the grade 10 to 12 girls small group leader, and I'm excited to connect with you in small group.
See you there.
See you there.
See you there.
Rock on.
See you then.
Yes, your leaders would love to hang out with you later, so make sure you stick around after the message for some Zoom small group. All right, we're going to do another City Youth Classic. This is Amazing Grace. If you know the words, I invite you to sing along. The power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty and so much stronger. The King of glory, the King above all kings. Who shakes the whole earth with holy thunder and leaves us breathless in awe and wonder. Above all kings, yeah, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I son and daughter. shines like the sun in all of its brilliance. The King of glory, the King above all kings. Yeah, this is amazing race. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. You laid down your life. That I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. All right, worthy is the Lamb. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. And worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy, worthy, worthy. Oh, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love. That you would take my place. That you would bear my cross. You laid down your life. That I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Oh, 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 Awesome. Man, I love singing with you guys. Even though I can't see you, I know some of you are singing, and it's just awesome to have you with us. Hey, we want to know what your favorite song is that we sing in the city or that you even heard at TMP. So throw it in the comments. Let us know what you'd love to hear. All right, check out this video.
No, I can be found living all alone. Can't run around. Oh, please, please, telephone. Don't be cruel. Your heart that's true. Yo, baby, I made you mad. Something I might have said. You took all around. Oh, the future looks bright instead. Don't be cruel. Your heart that's true. I don't want no other love. Baby, it's just you I'm thinking of. Yeah, Ollie. Hey, Ollie. You know I can't be found living all alone. You can't come around. Oh, please, please, telephone. Don't be cruel. Your heart that's true. Your heart that's true. Yeah.
Hey, if you're just tuning into our live stream tonight, my name's Peter. I'm the youth pastor at the City Youth. And if you've been hanging out with us all live stream long, we're super stoked you're here, man. We love hanging out with you all every Friday night. And we can't wait until we're all able to get back together here at the Underground in person. And so tonight, we are getting into week number 3 of the May series that we've been working through called The Sower. And like we've said in past weeks, the sower is an old term for a farmer. And it's based on a parable, which is a short metaphorical story that communicates a big truth about a farmer. And Jesus used this parable one day as he was trying to communicate a huge truth about how the way people choose to listen to Jesus' message determines the depth of the relationship that they're able to experience with Jesus. And so we're going to get into this parable in a little bit here, but before we do that, I'm curious if you've had an experience like the one that I'm about to describe to you. So I actually shared this in my message on Sunday as well, but I am someone who would describe myself as a raging extrovert. What this means is I get huge amounts of energy from being around people, and I could go on and on all day, all night at social events, hanging out with friends. But something that I've also kind of found strange about my personality is that even though large gatherings of people get me charged up with energy, they can also be a situation where I experience a little bit of social anxiety. You know that feeling where your chest starts to get tight and all your words are coming out, but they're not sounding the way you mean them to sound. And then as all that starts to happen, the conversation just dies and you're just left standing there. And you and the other person are both, like trying to find a good exit line. Like, oh, well, is that my mom calling? Gotta go. You're just like standing there and it's just so awkward. And I wonder if, like me, you've experienced that fear that causes that anxiety. Fear of people thinking poorly of us. Fear that most of us have experienced at some point, and I actually think is really common. And I also think that it's a fear that can stop you and me from experiencing one of the things we crave most in life: close relationships with others. Because close relationships with others, they take openness. They take being willing to be vulnerable. They take being willing to let people see you for who you really are. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the embarrassing. And I believe the same is true in our relationship with God. It's easy to follow God and feel like we have a close relationship with Him when everything's going well. When you're coming to youth group and all your friends think that's awesome, maybe they even come with you sometimes. Or when your family is doing well, everyone's getting along. Maybe this is back in those days where we were able to go on vacations and you just came back from a vacation. It was so much fun. Everyone's getting along. Or when times just feel good. You're going through your life, things are going well, your grades are up, your team just won the big game, and you are just going through life racking up the dubs. But what happens when our lives take one of those sudden turns that we all wish we could avoid? When our friends just aren't into this whole God thing anymore. And maybe they even think you're kind of weird for still going to youth group. Or when our families aren't getting along like they used to. Maybe our parents are fighting. Maybe your sibling's mad at you. Maybe your parents are mad at you. And it just doesn't feel like it's going to get any better. Or when we just don't feel as happy as we used to. And on top of that, it feels like nothing is going to work out. Our grades are down. We just feel like nothing we try is working, and we're just getting tired and frustrated, and we don't know what to do. Personally, this self-isolation time, there's been times in my days where I just feel like that. I'm excited to get work done and get stuff ready for live stream, but I'm also just kind of like, meh, I just want to sit here. I just feel tired. I don't want to do anything. I'm just feeling down. But it's in these times when things are hard that following God just isn't so easy anymore. Maybe they get so hard that we're not even sure if we believe in Him anymore. And it's in these times that I think we really start to see what kind of a relationship we have with Jesus. And it's in these times that we might even start to see if we're on the brink of just watching our relationship with God start to just fall apart. But when we come to these hard times, where people are pushing against our relationship with God, when life isn't going well, our relationship with God falling apart, that is a real possibility. But thankfully, in this parable we're going to look at, Jesus is trying to tell us how we can develop a relationship with him that lasts through these difficult times and even gets stronger. And he does it through this parable, through this short metaphorical story about a sower or a farmer, where he talks about 4 different kinds of soil. These metaphor of 4 different kinds of soil to talk about the kinds of relationships that people can have with him. He talks about this hard soil of a pathway that we looked at last week that's just impossible for a seed to fall into and grow. He talks about a soil that has many thorns growing in it that just choke out any seeds that try to grow there. He talks about a good soil that allows seeds to grow and to produce lots of fruit, lots of harvest, and that grow awesomely. And then he talks about the soil that we are going to look at tonight, and that is the rocky soil. So here's what Jesus had to say about the rocky soil. He said, the seed on the rocky soil represents those who hear the message and immediately receive it with joy. But since they don't have deep roots, they don't last long. They fall away as soon as they have problems or are persecuted for believing God's word. So Jesus is trying to tell the people who were listening to him that on that day, and he's trying to tell us today, that the way we can build a relationship with Jesus that makes it through difficult times, that doesn't just spring up when we hear about his love for us and we get excited about it and we're like, that's awesome, I want to follow Jesus. And then hard times come and we just kind of give up on God and forget about him. The way to build a relationship with him that lasts through difficult times is by making sure that we really let God's message grow deep roots in our hearts. So over the past couple of weeks, we've talked about this parable of the sower or the farmer, and talked about how our ability to learn and grow in our relationship with God depends on our willingness to really listen to what he has to say to us. And that can be hard, because sometimes the things we don't want to hear, sometimes it's maybe confusing. But even when we really listen to what Jesus is saying, I invite you to think about the idea that the next step of developing a deep relationship with Jesus is our willingness to be open and to be vulnerable with him about how we're feeling about his message, about how things are going in life, about the things in life that we think are awesome or not awesome, or things that we're ashamed of, or things that are just embarrassing. Yeah, when we are open and vulnerable with him, our relationship with him can grow. And a way that we can have some help along the way in that is being open and vulnerable with others. You know, people in our lives that we trust to help us grow in our relationship with Jesus. And so a question that I would ask us is this: who is it that you can talk to? Like, you can talk to God about these things. You can pray to him anytime and talk to him about how you're feeling, things you're struggling with. But who is a person that you can talk to as well that you trust? Who is a leader, a parent, a pastor, a teacher, someone that you can talk to? And are you willing to have difficult conversations with them about how you're feeling, about the things you're thinking, about the message of Jesus, about the things in your life that you are afraid of or ashamed of? Or are we going to let the fear of people seeing us for who we really are hold us back from experiencing a deep relationship with Jesus? Because here's the thing. God loves you. And he wants you to experience an exciting, passionate life in relationship with him today that lasts forever. And to do that, to build a relationship with Jesus, we have to be open to having difficult conversations with him about our lives, and to let the message that he has for us go deep into our hearts. Getting rid of guilt, getting rid of shame, getting rid of the desires to do wrong that can live there. And then instead have that message start to grow and produce peace, to produce love, joy, and the desire to follow Jesus that will lead you and me to an emotionally and a spiritually satisfying life today and forever. In real time, what this looks like, having this message grow in us, looks like reading our Bibles, praying, exploring our questions about Jesus, and having difficult conversations with others who have been following Jesus for a while and have some experience and wisdom to offer us. And like I said, maybe that's your parents. Maybe it's your small group leader. Maybe it's me. I'm totally open to talk to you guys anytime. I would love to chat with you about your questions, your fears, your doubts about God. But here's what I want to leave us with. When we are open with God, when we listen, when we are honest and vulnerable with Him, our hearts become like the good soil in this parable. And the transformation that God wants to do in your life, it's more than anything we can imagine. And here's the cool thing. When the message of God, when His love starts to grow in your heart and in your life, it's not just going to transform you, and it's going to transform the world around you. God's going to work with you and through you. He doesn't have to, but He wants to, because He loves you and me, and He wants us to be a part of changing the world with Him. That's just so awesome. And so we're going to head into small group. And before we do that, I'm going to pray for us, and then I'll explain how that's going to happen. So if you'd like to pray with me, let's do that now. So God, I just want to thank you so much for your love for us, for your presence with us, that you want us to have a deep relationship with you. And God, I ask that you would help us be vulnerable with you and to be open with you and to share our thoughts, our feelings, our questions. We thank you that you're a God that sees us and you don't judge us or look down on us because we don't understand or because we've done things that are embarrassing or we know are wrong. We thank you that you're a God that always welcomes us back. So we love you. It's in your name we pray. Amen. All right, so small group's going to be awesome. Your leaders are there, as you saw in that video earlier. They love you guys. They want to connect with you guys. All the links are in the description below this video. So go find the appropriate group for you, guys, girls, and then the grade. Find the one that fits you. Your leaders love you. They're excited to connect with you there. And so, guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight on the City Youth live stream. Hope you have a great small group. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And we will see you next time on the City Youth live stream.